Would Americans give up freedom? Sure. If we think about American life today, how many Americans do we really think are concerned about freedom? The important thing to understand about democracy is that it's always on the brink of crisis. Over the course of the 20th century, most of the European democracies failed. Since 1989, since the end of communism, despite all our great hopes, there is now a rollback and democracies are becoming authoritarian regimes again. It's normal that democracies fail. If you think America is going to be different, it has to be because you think Americans are different. And frankly, I'm still waiting to see whether Americans really are different. The warning signs came clear in 2016. We had a candidate from a major American political party who never held public office, wouldn't release his taxes, who's had a campaign that was being run essentially from a foreign country, Russia, who said he would contest the results of democratic elections, who has had a series of brushes with the law, whose heroes are tyrants, past and present, all around the world. We'd never had anything like that, and that in itself is not normal. We had a candidate who interacted with his own electorate at his rallies in a way which recalls the fascist style of the 1930s. So when such a person is elected, then we have to be on guard, especially since the system itself is not perfect. The important thing to understand about the checks and balances built into our system is that they're not a thing. They're not physical laws. The institutions are us. The framers of the Constitution set up checks and balances because they understood that human nature is imperfect, because they were the opposite of American exceptionalists. They were worried that every generation there would be new aspirants to tyranny in the United States of America. That's why they left us with these institutions. But the institutions, good as they are, only matter if we choose to understand them and only matter if we choose to defend them. If one looks at the authoritarian regimes that are present around the world now, most of the time, the person who's in charge came to power through free, or at least more or less free elections, and then changed the system from within. A potential tyrant will go after the legislature, or will go after the judges, will go after the press. We'll pick these things off one by one by one. So yes, the institutions are important, but we can't rely on them. The way that tyranny will work always at the beginning is to overwhelm you, to make you feel alone, to make you feel like there's nothing that you can do. The important thing at the beginning is to respond to that. If we think, oh, that's just Trump being Trump, what we're doing in effect is giving away our own freedom. Because every step that we make towards this kind of teledictatorship, every step that we take towards losing the distinction between a show and reality, a spectacle and a democracy, is a step that's very hard to take back. Someone is in office who is not interested in the interests of America or the freedoms of Americans. It's time to stop watching the television, to stop laughing it off, and to take hold of what's ours. If we don't do that, we can lose it in a way that's very hard to undo.